This door was closed off. They reopened it. So in our last video, we had a chance to show you what was happening on the outside of the house, the rebuilding of the stairs, the back sidewalk, and the water mitigation measures that were put into place. In this video, we want to show you what's going on in the basement or former barn and on the cellar side or bat cave, as some of you might remember from the earlier videos. So let's take a look. So what else is going on? Let's start with the basement side here. Windows are a little bit behind on schedule. All the lintels are in, they look great. They widened these windows, so there's a lot more light coming in to the basement here. Okay, coming into the basement, you can see there's so much more light, and the light is actually going down outside. But with the expansion of this space for the new windows that are on the way, and the expansion of these two window spaces that had broken down windows and grates, the light is incredible here. So we're really excited that the supports are done, the ceiling is done. We know there's going to be a secure foundation. So this basement, there's so many possibilities, from having a family apartment or just an extra space to use for gatherings. But regardless of that, we're gonna make sure that the floor is finished. We're gonna take the time to make sure that the walls are polished and that the concrete is pulled away from it, that doesn't need to be there. And we're going to regrout, have the stones regrout so that have extra support and it's clean and it's not so dusty down here. When the windows and the doors come up, they're going to add vents. They're not exactly sure where they're going to put a vent, one on the cellar side and one on the basement side, to keep the humidity out. So behind me here, this used to be covered up. We had them knock that out to add extra light into the basement. It also keeps a lot of the humidity out of this area of the basement. Again, the lintels went in everywhere. What this is going to be, this is going to be a full window type door. It's a window, but it'll open like a door to come into the basement. Now, the plans for this, haven't got those set in place yet, but we're in no hurry to do that. We'll get that all sorted out. Again, these windows were made bigger. The other ones were broken. They're bigger area, more light to come in here. Still waiting for the windows. They'll be here soon. And I was looking here. This was an old drain pipe. It's actually, it looks like it was made from concrete. So this has got some age to it. This was the little pipe I was telling you that was coming out of the ground over there for electricity. So they just wanted us to have that in place when we decide how we want to light up the backyard. What else? You can see the barn stalls are gone. They recovered this pillar. They recovered the ceiling with the same kind of quick drying concrete that they use for tunnels. So it's a very strong concrete there. There's actually a lot of history too. We don't know it. We're trying to pin some of it down. But we think just by looking at all the different parts and different additions to this house, after speaking with our architect, he thinks that this house could be from the Middle Ages, at least part of this cellar over here on this side. So over the years, there's been a lot of work and touch up and keeping this house going. You can see here where they added concrete. It may have been for structural purpose or leaking purposes, but this, it was recommended we get rid of this and just fill the gaps with industrial strength type sealant that's also provides strength to the building itself. And the other problem with concrete is that it doesn't breathe like these stones do, and that builds up moisture and causes other problems. So eventually we're going to have that concrete removed and have these stones finished up and the gaps filled in properly. Over here, I can't even guess the history of this part of the basement here. You can see there's stones coming out of the wall. It looked like there was some separation there or some addition that was built on. You can see right here, it was some sort of doorway. They had a wood lintel that is just not supporting the weight. So we don't have plans to knock this through anyways, but if you ever did, you would need to replace this or the whole house would come crashing through. But that's part of the history of the house, which we may never know for sure. So let's talk about the cellar. That was the side in one of my old videos where you see there were bats on the ceiling. In fact, we saw a bat this morning. So I'm just doing a quick survey of the cellar here. And I did notice this morning that we still have some bats coming in here. So I'll let him rest and do his thing. Now, so coming from the basement, I'm gonna come into the cellar. This, when we first moved in, this was blocked off and cemented. In fact, in an earlier video, you saw them punching through it. It's all been knocked out, and our builder is going to put a doorway in here for us. We weren't sure if we wanted a doorway or not, but having a door will be nice because he's gonna use something that's historical to the area instead of getting a specially made door or one off the shelf and make it fit. It's gonna be one from the area. You can see the window has been widened, hasn't been put in place yet. There's a new lintel in there. It's well supported. Here's some extra grates they had. This door here was also fixed, re-supported. All the support temporary pillars are gone. They added an iron beam here and across the roof and then back down on the other side. There's great light in here that we never saw before. So we're looking forward to having this as a nice area. We'll eventually refinish it as best as we can and either use it as a wine cellar or as a wine cellar and as a family gathering area. Depends. It's just, again, going back to the limitless opportunities. This morning we met with our architect who came in here, and I had some questions about this archway here and this archway here with the little bat up there sleeping right now. And he seems to think that this could be back to the Middle Ages, the way it's designed. It could be over 500 years old. Records for this area aren't that great, but from what we can tell and from what we've heard, the living part upstairs, that's street level, that's maybe 50 to 60 years old, but the basement and the cellar, he believes, are a lot older, that this probably could have even been at street level several hundred years ago, up to 500 years ago, if not more. But the theory is between 300 to 600 years ago. And yeah, I just saw a bat flying right there. I'll try to stay out of his way. We still have bats. We haven't put up a bat box yet, but they're free to come and go as they want. Okay, so what else needs to be done? Quite a bit. So, but the most important stuff is done. The foundation is done, it's safe, it's secure. Then we need to start fixing the upstairs, redoing some electricity. Downstairs, all they have left is to put a couple vents in, so when the doors and windows come in, all the humidity doesn't get trapped. We're gonna put a vent in this side of the cellar and this side over here in the basement. They're gonna have that. And then the future is wide open to us on what we're going to do and how we're going to do that downstairs. Maybe eventually put in an apartment here for family and friends that come to visit. Upstairs, we're going to do some electricity, but that's next year. Remember, piano, piano. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate that. If you enjoyed it, give us that thumbs up, share it with your friends. Remember, leave your comments below and check us out on Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to be adding some more information there. So take care for now.